Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the report that is just being read, it is not in our possession, and in order for us to make a significant report, we must have the report before us. So the report being open for us to make argument, I don't think it's necessary. Because we're not being able to adequately digest what has been reported and make our medical contribution.
So the disciplinary judgment from Liberia, humbly rejects.
The committee, this kind of examination, the committee.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Deputy Speaker, esteemed colleagues. After receipt of the National Budget for 2026, being presented to the committee, the committee started its work. The first thing we did was to conduct a one-day training with all controllers in the Republic of Liberia. And the intention of having that workshop was to make sure that when the agencies are coming to the hearing, the templates that we give them will be used so that we can have the analysis during the process. We are all glad that Liberia has the 1.2 mark, and we think it's possible to raise all of the revenue in this country, but we have caveats as negative. If you notice in the report, we highlighted a key presentation from the Minister of Finance and MRA. We also captured policy analysis and we as a legislature need to work on. And we also captured key findings that we think that are necessary for conducting These several recommendations as follows. The first recommendation is we as a body, the legislature as a whole, not only the House of Representatives, there are key instruments that we need taking actions on. One of them is already submitted, and the other, according to the information that we gathered from the Ministry of Finance, is submitted. Those are tied around the actions that will generate these revenues. They are, we need to expedite the passage of the Tax Amendment Act, which is submitted. We also need to expedite the Tax Expenditure Management Act. Those two are very key instruments that will help raise the revenues aspect. We also need, the committee recommends that we need SOE reform. Honorable Speaker, after the quarterly review of the revenue in the second quarter, exports are not performing. We are calling on this House, if necessary, to review the charter of the SOPs, the Act. We have realized that even administrative agencies are collecting more money than the SOE. They have reported there are some SOE as we speak that have contributed to zero, and all the administrative agencies, for example, Labor Ministry, Migrant or Immigration Service, the Ministry of Transport, is doing well. And we do believe it's because that all of them, these administrative agencies, are being due by LRA, their accounts are being due by LRA and the Ministry of Finance, unlike the SOE. So we need to do these reforms and hold the SOE accountable so that they can make their contributions towards the budget. One other major thing that came up and that is captured and we are skeptical about is the asset recovery is to contribute approximately 10 million towards the 2026 budget. This is the first time that we are bringing the asset recovery to the table to contribute towards the revenue. And so we critically analyze and we think that should go to contingency because the asset recovery will have to come and report to us and establish all sources and they must be credible or else we are not of the opinion to rely on that revenue stream. And we think there should be, we should establish a coordinating council or committee comprising of the MFBT, the SOE themselves, plus the LRA. And we should make regular reports to, quarterly reports to the House of Representatives or to the legislature as a whole. That way, monitoring the revenue quarterly with intense payment of all of them as described in though we are all happy, but if these recommendations are not adhered to, we are skeptical that we are not going to achieve. While it is true, we all want to see the budget going up, a critical analysis of what we have done, what we have presented to you. Just true factual things. I'd like to say this last one, fellow colleagues, that we've experienced some of the agencies from the executive. They were reluctant and delayed. Some of them did not show up, and we think plenary should give us some powers, if possible, for cuts, budgetary cuts, if we do not comply with the thank you, and we are ready for questions.
Any other people from the committee? Possible or okay, Mr.
Presiding, co-presiding colleagues, let me extend my thanks to the Chairman of Ways, Mr. Finance, for the report. Mr. Presiding, being a member of the Ways, Mr. Finance Committee, I have been on the committee since 2021. Wow. What we are observing on the committee, we haven't observed before. One, there is a growth in the revenue. The revenue has grown up to $1.2 billion as estimated in the 2026 budget. But the issue about what we are observing, Mr. President, is the agency of government are not being cooperative in terms of their appearances. Mr. President, when plenary gave us a mandate, it means that the 73 political subdivision of this country has spoken. So when we convene and call in these ministries or agencies to give us or to defend what the revenue projection are, and they are not coming, then I see it very troubling. So another thing that we also identified during the hearing is SOEs. SOE are agencies of government are intended to raise revenue for the development of our country. So to see SOE in the budget not contributing anything, Mr. President, is troubling. Yes, we will say our budget has grown up to $1.2 billion, but some of the revenue identified in this budget is just one time. That the secretary fees. If we pass on this agreement and we raise $200 million for the secretary fee, are we going to sign another agreement in 2027? So if we are not signing on agreement in 2027, but the SOE that are permanent, that the MPA, the FPRC, NAFA, and the list goes on, and those people are not contributing to the budget as they should, and I see as very disturbing. It is good that some other agencies are coming on board. The lottery authority, they are coming on board. They have been projected in the budget, in the draft budget of 4 million, and they believe they can even make more than 8 million plus dollars. So if new entities coming on board and willing to contribute more, and we know those traditional entities, the MPA, that should be contributing in that. So presiding, I think we need to take a decision, and as the chairman is recommending, that plan level should give us some authority, that those who are not being cooperative, there should be some penalty taken. If you're not coming to the budget hearing and you are hampering the committee's job, it means that in as much as you're not coming, the revenue component of it that you think you will come to make your case for additional revenue, in that case we can use our power to reduce your expenditure. So with that, I want to learn and give my colleague the chance that I want to yield to one of the places.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Let me thank the chairman for the preliminary report. He has stated succinctly most of the things that we discussed. But again, my concern are from twofold. The chairman spoke about the issue of access by LRA to SOE's account. And one of the things that was discussed, now being discussed continuously, is the fact that the Minister of Justice has actually served as an impediment in us implementing this. There is no way that NPA, for example, will say, I can't contribute to the budget. When you look in the account at any point in time, they're having maybe 5 million or 6 million. Yet they claim that they cannot contribute because of our money. Unless we are able to implement that garnishing power, authority that we're giving to NRA in the budget we pass, it's not going to be done. The Minister of Justice needs to see this as critical to obtaining the figures as given in the budget. That's number one. Number two, we need to note that the budget has grown by 36%, but that is contingent on getting 880 million as at the close of the year. Mr. Speaker, when the budget was presented, total revenue collected was still around 700 million. That is at October when the budget was prepared. The fear is that if we do not get 880 million as given the budget, it means that this budget is going to be growing more than 36%. Are we realistically able to get the total 1.2 billion? Note that in that 1.2 billion we're talking about, a chunk of 200 million is just from one shot. But if we can get 880 million and we can get 200 million as projected, it means that we have a big gap between where we start and where we're starting from. So in my consideration, I'd like to implore the chairman and the entire committee that we are working with on the background to ask that the Ministry of Finance presents next week, before the end of next week, the raw data in terms of how much we have at the close of this November. Because that's going to give us an idea to a large extent where we end the year at, so that we know that, hey, even though we are 80 billion, but at the end of the close of the year, we may get 790 or 800 million. That's going to give us a clear idea in, and then we can be able to use that as a determination whether it's realistic that we can get the 1.2 billion that we are projecting. So again, let me take the committee chair, but we are clear that the Minister of Justice must step on the knee in terms of giving us the allowance for LRA to garnish people's accounts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Before I recognize my customers, let me just say one thing. I think I will all the committee also to look at the outcome. If you get analysis of the outcome, you get outcome comprises of the actual and projected figures for the last 2 or 3 months. So there's a need to ask, to empower the committee to plenary to also ask those ministry, especially the Ministry of Finance, to give analysis of the outcome. The outcome will not be projected well.
Yes.
Because the outcome figure will be up to October, and the projected figure for November, December might not be realistic.
Exactly.
So we will go to that. I recommend Michael, please. Michael Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues. Let me add my voice to say thank you to the chairman for a very succinct presentation relative to the preliminary report on the expenditure hearing of the 28th of the 6th.
So folks, if you join us, we'd like to say welcome. Kindly stick with us as we switch a little bit from this.
1.2
So we're just gonna experience shaking a little bit. We're trying
Well,
to
my
set
concern
the
is I was
camera
actually
in
good
a better
to
way.
few things.
Okay.
And I would draw your attention, Mr. Speaker, Deputy Speaker, colleagues, let me bring your attention to Article 34D of our Constitution. And if you want me to read verbatim, it says the House of Representatives shall have the power to originate and present bills to the Senate. All bills arising relative to revenue shall originate from the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments on other bills. I'm reading this to say one of the hindrances that we have had to date relative to our hearing is this concomitant hearing that is currently ongoing with both the Senate and the House. It's clear that the schedule normally will police that one institution supposed to appear before the House at a time, and they are also scheduled to be with the Senate at the same time. So because of that, there is a lapse in the schedule, which has affected, our hearing. And the second part is, my colleagues have said it clearly. I know I don't want to read into it, but we need to be very, very meticulous in the hearing and the scrutiny process of this budget. Because there are few lines in the budget that has escalated the budget. One of them is we introduced revenue to be collected from asset recovery. Revenues to be collected from asset recovery. Additionally, the signature bonus. And then surprisingly, Mr. Speaker, when you listen to the radio, you hear promotions from NAFA. They're buying kilos, they're paying school fees, they got programs free of charge at the university and other universities across the country. They got ambitious activities ongoing. But when it comes to contributing to the budget, they tell you they are incapacitated. To the extent that for the last 2 fiscal years, you will see that NAFA has done pretty nothing in contributing to the budget. My colleague also mentioned the other institution, which is MPA. How can MPA be assessed at zero in a whole budget year? At zero, Mr. Speaker. This is unimaginable. So we need to sit, go back around the table, have some conversation, and see how we can enhance our domestic revenue mobilization. Because of course, one bill is gone, all those different external sources, they are struggling. We can't continue to rely on external support. We should enhance our domestic revenue mobilization so as to make our budget more realistic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Breathe, Mensa. After Buka, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, colleagues. Firstly, I would like to thank the committee for the preliminary report. But I gathered two key issues from the preliminary report, and that caught my attention. And I will just talk about that. Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, colleagues. The issue about the SOE being a little bit defiant of cooperating with the community is an issue. And I would like for the leadership, before plenary can give the committee the authority to take some measures against those SOEs, I would love that the leadership call those SOEs to a meeting and make them to understand what they need to do. Because Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, colleagues, if you look at our budget, talking about 1.2 billion, and looking at the signature fees, and I listened to one of the committee members, 2027, are we going to have another signature fees to be able to fill those gaps? We are not going to get them. And when those information
Information, the committee chair.
I like the deliberations and the involvement of all our students, but let me provide this information. Let us look at the figures critically. The budget has grown up to 1.211, that is 1,211,000,000. So if you take out the signature bonus, which is 200 million, is 1,111,000,000. Figures are hard to know. 1,011,000,000. Now, if we consider where we are in 2025, 880 million. If you subtract it, you see that it is 131 million actual growth. Because the 200,000 is the 200 million, we use 200 million is we, the committee, has already agreed that we will be treated in contingency. And it will be only meant for capital projects. That is to say, this money is available one time. So our actual growth, if you look at the mathematics, will be talking about 1 million growth, on which the decision should be based. So moving forward, perhaps to 2027, definitely if there's no 200 million, our budget will fall a little below that. I just wanted to start now, because 200 million is not going to go for operational costs, but it's strictly for infrastructure or consider under contingency.
Can I do a step? Thank you. Thank you. Can I do a quick buttress? Can I do a quick buttress? Thank you. Yes. Because information, yes. The chairman is saying 131 million actual growth. But the point is, in that 131 million, external revenue is also inside. So the actual growth is far less than 131 million. But besides the point, another issue we need to consider is that if we are paying our PSRPs on just 200 million in contingency, it means every cent we raise into basically we are not putting into the project. We may want to look at that so that we can do the relevant adjustment. Because it's been our thank you.
Let me appoint the chair.
Another point, please. Yeah. Honorable Speaker.
So that's the
Just a follow-up. Additional information.
Okay.
To our distinguished gentleman from Maserado. The additional information on our district number Muta. Yeah, the additional information to you, Honorable, is that what the draft budget is explaining to us is that they are spending more on revenue enhancement. If we are to focus more on the revenue generating agency by giving them more money, our domestic revenue mobilization will increase. We try to strengthen the base. So that's why they do. They try to digitize most of the system. So with that, the fear, the risk about the 200 million is being reduced in that direction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, please. Let's agree all the statement we made are our position. But again, we're talking about coordination in here. How the legislature or the House of Representatives can work with the executive. When we have branches of the executive not cooperating with the legislature, I think it should be an issue for us. And we should be able to address these things so that we get on par with the governance process of Liberia. So I was saying, in short, that with the committee preliminary report talking about some challenges concerning how those SOEs be able to cooperate with the committee to make sure that the work that's supposed to be done, it is done on time. I'm saying that leadership, before plenary can give that stringent decision to the committee to act, I believe that the leadership should call these people for a meeting to make them to understand what is it they need to know so that before we get at that level and then we see it being different. Thank you.
Thank you.
The chair of revenue, the chair of revenue is there. The co-chair of revenue are not spoken.
Most of the time when I'm listening to us explaining as a deputy of the people with the kind of power we claim we have, I don't believe there's anything. We were here, we voted that beside the speaker, pro tem, and the higher up, nobody else would exceed $45,000 car. We used 45,000, we were insulted here. There were directors, deputy directors that was proving in Oka that you 53,000, 60,000. They all sat down and they were friendship. Nothing was done. We came back, the budget committee took 1 week plus leading session to go into expenditure review. After the expenditure review, the report came here. I passed a motion with the instruction of plenary that we make sure we need machine those people that having withholding and keeping it and diverting that money to different use. Those people were never called here. Up to another motion in here. Then we come, most of the time we come. We sat here, we were on break, the Senate was given the matter to review the pricing of terminal. To my surprise, I listened to my dear brother, the godfather of one county. He said this decision was made and sent to the president and endorsed. And now, LPRC is implementing it. What happened to us? Are supposed to set taxes and pricing supposed to come from us. Nothing has been done. We have power that we're not using the way we need to use it. We have a budget before us that has been argued that you look at personnel costs. It's more than operational and other things that people need to work with. We still looking at the budget. Why is it that we give people more than the work they're doing? We should look at those budgets and know that why is it that the salary of the people more than even so when they say they got computer, so when they say they got laptop, they got car to go work, but we pay them every month. And they come and sit here. So when they issues, they come for us. We say we're concerned about domestic violence. If you look at the police, if you look at justice, if you look at defense, if you look at the building, we're not discussing. Thank you. If you look at the police, if you look at defense, all the LGBT matter is not being measured in the budget. How are we going to protect the people that are vulnerable? Honorable Speaker, I know you and I know the Deputy Speaker. If we have not acted, this budget, thank God that the committees here media wise to be reporting to us like this. And we will take it very seriously. Almost because one of the issues we closing our eyes for is the executive order and for the TRA. There was no mechanism put in place to show who's going to monitor the calls that have been made and the telephone company and now going to job over this period. Let's call the LTA here as plenary to find out. Let's call Let's call the LTA here to find out with the executive order the calls and data that have been used. How we going to know about the money? Let LTA come and let plenary know. Because these are the revenue leakages that we're not looking at. My next point to close my honorable speaker, if you look at all of the TVS budget, we're talking about the young people that are vulnerable. TVS, some of them only have 4,000, 2,000. I see the newer TVS having segmented over 1,000. What happened with the other TVS institutions? Please, honorable speaker, honor your gavel and talk my distinguished colleagues. Let's look at these points and take it seriously and pay attention to the budget to hear that our people problem will be resolved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's go on. Let's go on. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Speaker. Deputy Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I heard the way you carry the discussion, and I want to commend the chair and the members of the Committee on Waste, Means and Finance, for at least bringing up to speed, on this critical issue. Mr. Speaker, honor our law. There is a word or doctrine called justiciability. Justiciability is the inability of the lawyer to be able to tell the client the truth that there is no possibility of winning this case. And one of the reasons I'm correlating police. One of the reasons is being correlated with the discussion, Mr. Speaker, is when the executive or the government of Liberia pronounced the 1.2 billion, felt it's impossible for us to generate that money. Bringing us to the committee, they were straightforward by giving those justification or those reasons that may not make the government to achieve it. And few of those reasons are the people from the SOE. The SOE, the spirit and intent under which they were created, they support the Liberian government in many initiatives. But Mr. Speaker, if you look at the SOEs, they are being personalized. Their heads are the big boys. The government is bigger than any of us. If we're talking about the budget is the instrument in which every Liberian interest can be found in various sectors. So, if we are discussing the budget, the people from the SOEs will not contribute. It's becoming habitual. Many times they will come and they will tell you the reason that they will not support. Because they can do infrastructure, they can develop their SOEs. Infrastructure why? But government as a government is a one very option that divides the cake of the Liberian people. And I think, Mr. Speaker, I enjoy the recommendation from the committee. This plenary, colleagues, we need to take this seriously. Even with the competing priorities we have, if you look at the budget, if you propose 100 million for education, your effort will be to take it if the money is not being raised from the projected budget lines. So when I look at institutions that are for Liberian people, and people will tell, oh, they trade because I'm part of payroll, I will not be able to contribute. I think that there is no need that we'll be discussing budget. So, Mr. Speaker,
One of the reasons I'm happy is opening the floor with the level of accountability being provided by our colleagues so that we can listen to these issues and make sure that the Liberian people want to come. Thank you, Mr.
Deputy Speaker of the Distinguished Police, I want to thank the community always listening us the preliminary report from the hearing, the 1 week or 2 hearing on this budget. Quite frankly, when our constituents elected us, they elected us so that they can have a share in what comes as a national issue. But come here and with the mandate that we have to ensure that people in Sewen, people in Bodi are captured, are factored into governance, into development, it's our responsibility to ensure that that's our responsibility is executed to the point. So, fortunately, I was in the budget hearing. I've been following, and I've been following, and I've noticed when, let me take that word back. I've noticed with seriousness the responses from the SOEs and the other ministries. Fortunately, Honorable Thomas flagged one of the issues I had. The issue of us having paralyzed our sessions, budget hearing. It has impeded the functions and the respect of our body. It's a serious issue. I read that last year, but this year because of the negligence or the way the SOEs are proceeding has captured our attention. And Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker of the Distinguished Police, this is a responsibility given to us by the Constitution that all bills and financial instruments must emanate from the House of Representatives. The same way the Constitution gave the Senate the right, exclusive right, to have proclamation here. They need to respect that. We are working as two separate houses, but they need to understand that what belongs to us must do it. They are not superior than us. When we meet, when we have a joint lesson, you are the one that presides. It's not the contemporary. They need to understand that. And we have to, as men in this house, we need to understand that. Because these things are even there from here. They will come with send them to them after we are praying. Why?
Because also send the name.
Yeah, they send a name. And let me tell you why. The Constitution, the purpose of the Constitution know that we are the direct representatives of the people. We ask for the justice. They have the captain. It's optional. I don't know why we relinquish our power to them. And you are the speaker. You are our head. We need to get that responsibility to ensure that our people are factored in it. The reason why the SOEs are not respecting us is because we have relinquished our power to them. The thing that they are the heads. Because we still have that or lower house and upper house. There's no lower house and no upper house. It was funny because you saw the pictures in the conference room. That time we had story building. And because we were up there and the structures were down high, there's nothing called upper house, nothing called lower house. It was because of that building. So we need to understand that. They said need to know that, and you as our speaker, you as our leader, you should tell them that. So the next thing is that we have noticed in the hearing that some of the SOEs when they come here, they want to argue with us. Our police need to know that. We are elected, but not appointed. Our being here is to ensure that our people are felt. Our people are felt by this. We are discussing 5.4 million people. And the only way they can be factored, the only way they can be heard is through our representation, is through this budget. budget that's not or realistic, or we'll discuss that how the revenue component go on. So as I conclude, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, the issue of budget is where our people are heard. Our people are heard through our issues we pass. If we get, yes, that's a kid. If we get be serious about it and allow the SOEs to come and dictate to us, then I think we are betraying the cause of which we're elected. The SOEs need to be told, they need to be mandated, and as my colleagues have suggested, if they get within what we ask them to, they must be held in contempt, and some of them have to be prosecuted for that because they take the money on themselves. My colleague mentioned it. We were restricted. We are elected people. The press is our responsibility in the budget. We limit ourselves 5,000 to renovate our offices. But they go and do 10,000, 15,000. Who are they? And the Liberians are not saying anything. They talk to us who represent them. So we need to understand and ensure that these things are not continued.
Thank you so much. Almost here,
this morning about SOE and not actually going to be able to budget. I think the reason why SOE was promised by the government is they earn and who payments for the government. And as you know, Honorable Speaker is not a stranger to all of us. And the salary of those SOE is not even compared to those who work for us in Chamber Bay.
Let's review our salary.
Then you get to SOE, some of the areas that we have been visiting, and those who work there, you realize, Honorable Speaker, that some of those people making 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000, and they pay that they are doing some government. So to be frank, Honorable Speaker, police, if at all you want to raise money for the SOE that was started as government, Honorable Speaker, we need to take it very serious. We need to invite those people who are hanging over the SOE in this office, in your office or here in the federal, to show us why they are not having money to give to government in return. Why are they paying their workers so huge money? And so the cash is not right. It's so surprising. The business for government. Why would you say the business for yourself now to do with it? So it's impossible for that to happen. Honorable Speaker, we need to take a serious look at it and then invite them to plenary. That issue can come here and say, oh, why they cannot pay, why is not pay the government revenue so that they can pay the members of this country in with development report. SOE is not a private entity, it's a government. So that's my
you take 2 more on the Musa Bailey with me for
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues. The debate here, or the conversation here, surrounds 2 major areas. One is the issue of the SOE not living up to their target, and the second one is the budget deliberation. I would like to focus on the way the budget that was submitted has been handled. The Constitution is clear that the budget must emanate from the House of Representatives before going to the House of Senate. And I see some fundamental flaw here. The budget being simultaneously submitted to the House of Senate and the House of Representatives, I think is an issue that we need to address with the executive. By virtue of the Constitution, it is the House of Representatives that are supposed to receive the budget. And having deliberated on the budget, send it to the Senate for concurrence. So, if if we are having an issue where the Senate is going ahead to deliberate on the budget, when we haven't completed our deliberation, I think it's a serious breach that we need to look at. And if so, if it is established that indeed the Senate is deliberating the budget, I would want the plenary of this Honorable House of Representatives to issue a statement asking the Senate to halt all deliberations on the budget until we have completed our deliberation. That's our contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let me recognize one of the speakers first. And we'll present a couple and come out to Oguneke again. Please protect our representative football. Please protection, please.
Power is taking. The Senate is trying to write on that saying. The Constitution is clear, very clear. Article 14 Act of the Constitution says all revenue bills, whether subsidies, charges, duties or taxes, and any other financial bill shall originate on the cost of revenue. The Senate will approve or confer. Now you is not even planning. Every financial instrument is our responsibility. And so we are told,
People see.
Honorable Speaker, it is your responsibility. You are elected to be the mouthpiece of this house. You need to ensure whatever deliberation that is not going by the Senate is outside of the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria, and we need to ensure that the financial instrument comes from this house. Every financial deliberation should be from this house, and not the other way around. So we ensure that it's
So hopefully we'll take seats on this particular deliberation on the issue relating to 34. I will need the president and all the Senate leadership so we can discuss it. And that way we will get the Senate House exclusive role for hearing confirmation. So we do have the Senate president and the Senate to be followed when we come to the budget. So we're following the outcome of who's out there to make a call. Okay, people do 1 million and we'll have that everything.
Wait a minute. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, please. Wait a minute. I speak as a lone voice. For who? Representing the creative sector that all of us and lawmakers will use the creative sector to become lawmakers, but we don't talk for them to be included in our budget. I speak for the musicians, I speak for the artists, I speak for the social bloggers who are now being captured in all these things we are talking. These people help us to be representative and we not talk for them. Only thing I'm talking here, I hear nothing about nothing from musicians, we need
The motion that the desire of peace. We need you, peace.
Our Deputy Speaker, fellow colleagues, first let me thank the Speaker for showing quality leadership. For the first time. There's a question. Anytime the Speaker does something right, and today he has exercised exemplary leadership and allowing us to speak on this very important matter. I want to also point to the Deputy Speaker. Our Deputy Speaker, you were once chair for Ways and Means, and Honorable Chairman for Executive. You are also one co-chair for Ways and Means. Today, during your tenure, I need full attention, please. During your tenure, Honorable Chair, Executive, and Deputy Speaker, this legislature was under the voting hearing was under the full control of the House of Representatives. What is happening in the Senate is that some of our colleagues have graduated from the House of Representatives onto the Senate, and it's still one House of Representatives. And what is happening, Honorable Speaker, we need you to take charge. Concurrence and amendment cannot happen before the action itself. The Constitution says after we should have acted, then concurrence will take place. But we are here. Amendment and concurrence are taking place when the action has not been taken. This is in contravention of the Constitution, Honorable Speaker. And there are two other issues. We are the custodian of the finances of this country. As we see it, the SOEs have literally hijacked the revenue of the Liberian people and refuse to report as it should be. Honorable Speaker, I want you to take charge as head of the legislature. And in this manner, as a means of way forward, I want this body. Yes. I want this body to form a move. Stop distracting me. A move that this body turns itself into a committee of one. A committee of whole, and summon the Minister of Justice, the Minister of Finance, the LRA, and all the SOEs that have failed to submit their financial projection to the committee and come here, and while coming they should come with their budget and their annual financial report to this body and the determination of their contribution to the national budget should not at any point in time be left with them. It is the prerogative of this body to determine the revenue of Liberia to whatever be a found necessary.
The nation power, the seven are you already vote? Already. I translated in a land register that the absence and the delivery, willful refusal of any entity to appear to budget hearing is contemptuous, and as such, I move and ask to the movement if you could make a simple amendment that plenary maintain achievement to inform the President of the Republic of Liberia of the deliberate refusal of his ministers, his agent, to come to budget hearing at the lower house. That's one. Two, at the House of Representatives, that's one. Two, and that the president in such communication be made to understand that if his agents continue to refuse, even though we recognize the growth of the revenue to the tune of 1.2 billion in this country, the refusal of his lieutenant to appear will leave this House of Representatives with no other option but to hold him responsible that the delay of this budget for 7 delivery of the country will go straight to his administration and that he will be held responsible. The people need to have their budget passed and so
we'll exert all effort. We are back to the president first.
yeah.
We'll exert all effort in this place. After we have filled, and I know we are going to fill before we get to the president. We exert all effort to make sure that these SOEs and all authorities that belong to this particular chamber to insist that these people come to the call of the motion. So we'll exert all, leave the president here. Let's deal with it.
I'll be ready to vote. If your SOE that we are sending for to appear, and that you should appear next Tuesday, and you will see us. All right.
To my colleague, I will follow the speaker line. We are an independent body. We will exert our authority. We don't need the president to act on our behalf. And this is how we take the necessary action to come as it may be required. So that part of your motion I reject. The part that talk about that coming on Tuesday are so accept.
Thank you. Already. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, esteemed colleagues, I will be ready to vote if this simple amendment can be made to the motion that the SOE, as they are bringing those financial documents, bring them all, the 3 more recent updates.
So accept.
Already.
Mensa.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Long live the Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. To the movement, I will be ready to vote if you can kindly capture this particularly. Based on the executive order sustaining the TIA, let LTA come and tell us the revenue leakages we have it now. How is it going to preserve our money from a cell phone company for us to utilize it? Because they are bigger component. We're monitoring and they are bigger component to this budget. Thank you. I'll be very good.
So accept.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, distinguished colleagues. The debate here, like I laid the premise earlier, has 2 cardinal issues. And one of the issues of concern to me is the issue of the Senate getting involved with the budget here. And so, based on this, I will be ready to vote. So the movement, if your motion can include that this Honorable House of Representatives take specific action to stop the Senate from interfering with the
We have seized that motion. And we read the president in consultation with the Senate leadership to resolve that issue.
Yeah, he said you see that one.
I will be ready to vote if the movement can accept this amendment. That the Minister of Justice be made to come with his legal reliance for which he's stopping the NRA from garnishing the accounts of the SOEs, even though it was enshrined in the budget law. So I'll be ready to vote with him. You should come prepared with that.
Yes, given the fact that there is almost consistent reliance by SOE on the Ministry of Justice, I so accept.
Mr. Speaker, I will be ready to vote if these amendments will be considered. One, based on the circumstances on readiness that says the SOE should be invited to state why they should not be held in contempt. Because the word contempt is used, I will be ready to vote if the SOE will come along with their legal counsel. That's one. Two, I will be ready to vote where the communication to the SOE specifically say that those documents that they are bringing, they should bring not less than 80 copies, because we are 73 members here and we need copies for the secretariat. That's two. Three, I will be ready to vote if the LRA and the Ministry of Finance, including the Minister of Justice, upon their appearance, they can give specific reference to the issue of the B Mountain waiver, because the 2025 budget carries that B Mountain should be made to contribute her portion of the road fund. In the hearing states that B Mountain is not contributing. LRA intended to enforce, and the Ministry of Finance told them not to. So I will be ready to vote if those issues are considered while the hearing is on Tuesday.
The honorable gentleman has raised even a more pressing matter on the speaker. Where we are, I think today is a defining moment in the history of the House. We are in the moment where we are about to stamp or re-stamp our authority on the national budget as prescribed by the House. So I so accept in full, with no exception.
With all of the amendments, I want to vote. How those in favor of making my budget right hand up?
The House will be voting everything.
It's not a financial issue.
You will follow the rule, they will say yes, I'm saying yes.
Yeah, we got that very true. Those against? Those against? Those abstain? All check the result.
Thank you.
With the 8-4, the vote is carried, and we never so order. Our Chief Deputy, I can come in here, we hope to see these SOEs in our full plenary on Tuesday with all of the legal petition to guide all the contempt charges. please, to please be in full attendance on Tuesday. And on time, 10 o'clock, please. 10 o'clock, please be on time. So we got figure out there that